Hey guys, welcome back to another video. 24 years ago, America witnessed the most tragic attack on our land, the 9/11 terrorist attack.
Engine 1 out, World Trade Center, 1060. Send every available ambulance, everything you got to World Trade Center now.
You saw a
Yes,
plane?
I just saw a plane go into the building.
Ready, engine, the third plane hit the second tower, okay?
People are jumping out the windows. Over there, they're jumping out the windows, I guess, because they're trying to save themselves. I don't know.
Nearly 3,000 people were killed on that day in my home state of New York. Now, 24 years later, I thought it would be right to use my platform to talk about it because it's not something we should ever forget. On 9/11, I was in MCC, New York. It's a prison waiting to fight my cases. We heard about it. The guards were talking about it. It was on the news. Everybody was talking about the whole thing. You could actually smell the smoke. The prison is about a mile and a half or whatever it is, 2 miles away. Smelled the smoke. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody. All the inmates, the guards. Even the guards were talking with the inmates about it and what was going on. And being it was only a mile and a half away, there was rec on the roof on the 11th floor. We would go to recreation all the time, and there were those two buildings. After a couple of days later, we went on rec again. We went up on the roof. What a feeling it was to look around and those buildings weren't there anymore. They immediately locked down the prison on that day. You got bagged lunch. I guess they stopped cooking. It was chaos. Was this World War III? What happened? What was going on? You know, the curiosity was just bubbling all over the place. They had TVs in certain areas, but we were locked down, so you couldn't really get to the TVs. They shut everything down. We were a little bit in the dark, and I was sure that the guards were told not to tell us too many things to start confusion. I know people wanted to make calls to call their families and stuff like that. It was all shut down. The thing that stuck with me is that you saw both sides. Guards are on one side, prisoners are on another side. But that brought everybody together. Everybody was talking as Americans. Everybody was feeling the same pain, the same worries, the same everything. So it actually brought people together a little bit more than normal. Usually we didn't bother with the guards too much. So that was something that stuck with me a little bit. Later on, I saw it on the news where people, when the buildings came down and there was smoke and stuff and soot in the air and people helping people, man falling, women would stop and pick them up, blacks, whites, Hispanic, everybody sticking together to help each other get out of things. There was tons of people who went go through the rubble to see if they could find survivors. I believe some of the officers that worked in the building, there was a lot less of them. I think they went and volunteered to go through the rubble and see if they could find, people who were still alive or whatever they were doing, helping in some way. So it seemed like everybody was trying to help one another. And people were all suffering the same thing. A tragedy like that took all the racial stuff, everything out the window. We were one. It didn't matter whether you were a criminal or a warden or a guard. It just didn't matter. It brought everybody together. We got more information. Newspapers started coming in. I think they stopped the newspapers from coming in for a while. Newspapers started coming back in. Televisions were on. People were getting calls. And people knew what was going on. It seemed like it wasn't just the Twin Towers. It was Pentagon. Things like that were bombed as well. So, everybody thought this is going to be World War III. If we were attacked like this, normally the United States attacks back. When we were attacked in Pearl Harbor from Japan, we went to war immediately. So we figured this is now going to be World War III. It would be pretty obvious if that happened. I was in the military originally, everybody knows that, and we have an amazing military. The reaction of the military was going to be swift and big. And who it was going to be against, we had no idea. I had no idea. Most of the inmates didn't have an idea where it was going. It took a while. Until today, I remember, and I'm heartbroken for people who had to go through that stuff. Firemen, cops, just everybody, families, family members. This is not something we should forget. This is why I wanted to do a little video on 9/11. They have that saying, never again, and I believe in that. It should never happen again.
These acts of mass murder were intended to frighten our nation into chaos and retreat. But they have failed.
America today is on bended knee in prayer for the people whose lives were lost here, for the workers who work here, for the families who mourn. This nation stands with the good people of New York City as we mourn the loss of thousands of our citizens. I can hear you! I can hear you, the rest of the world hears you, and the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us soon. Thank you for making the nation proud, and may God bless America.
Now, this day, 9/11, that flag behind me, this is our country. This is our flag. This is us, all of us. Men and women, every nationality, every race. This is us, that flag. This is important to me as a veteran, and it's something that is an important day. I will never forget it, and I hope nobody in this country forgets it. And you young people who didn't live through it, look at it, revisit it. Watch those World Trade Centers go down. Watch the people dying in the street, choking, trying to help each other, loving each other, and how we came together. Before you burn another flag or not know about what it was, think about it. Look at this. Look at this flag. Make that memory come in your mind. And I don't know how you could burn it. My heart and my prayers go to the people who lost their family members that day. I'm sure it's a nightmare for you guys to live through this every year on that same day. God bless, and I'll see you soon.